Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into a book today that I think a lot of you have probably heard of, Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi.
Yeah, this one's a classic.
It is. And, we try to bring you guys the books that really make a difference in how you work and live and think. And this one, it's all about relationships.
And how those relationships can drive success.
Exactly. And I got to be honest, when I first saw the title, I was like, ah, oh, this is going to be about those awkward networking events.
The ones where you're just trying to shove your business card into as many hands as possible.
Exactly. But Never Eat Alone, it really surprised me. It's so much deeper than that.
Oh yeah, it goes way beyond just collecting contacts. Ferrazzi's whole point is that your network is like a currency. The stronger those relationships are, the more you can achieve.
So it is about who you know, but there's a lot more to it than just that, right? Like Ferrazzi's really specific about the types of relationships that really matter.
You got it. He's all about building what he calls mutually beneficial relationships. And he actually shares a really cool story in the book about how when he was a young student,
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
he reached out to a super high-profile CEO, and he offered to help with research for a book that the CEO was writing. And that one act of genuine support, without any expectation of getting anything back,
Which is so key.
absolutely. It actually ended up leading to this long-term mentorship that totally shaped Ferrazzi's whole career.
Okay, see, that's what's so cool about this book. It flips the script on how we usually think about networking. It's not about, like, what you can get from someone. It's about what you can give.
Exactly. And that's what Ferrazzi calls the generosity mindset. And the best part is it doesn't have to be some big grand gesture.
Right, it's not like you have to be donating millions of dollars or something.
No, not at all. He introduces this idea of what he calls pinging. It's basically these small little actions that you can do consistently to stay on people's radar.
Okay, so like maybe sending a quick email with an article that you think someone would find interesting, or just remember their birthday.
You got it. Those little pings, they can actually go a really long way
I bet.
because they show that you're thinking about the other person and you're staying top of mind without being like super overwhelming.
Right, you don't want to be that person who's emailing every day.
Exactly. Haha. Now, I'm curious, have you ever used pinging yourself?
You know what, I actually have. Just recently, I sent an article about this new technology to a former colleague who I knew was really interested in that area.
Nice.
And it was awesome. It sparked this great conversation, and we actually ended up collaborating on a new project together. So yeah, I'm a big believer in pinging now.
I love that. That's a perfect example of how it works. And it also ties into another really important point that Ferrazzi makes in the book, which is building your network before you actually need it.
This is such a good point, especially for anyone who's maybe just starting out in their career or feeling a little bit stuck. Because then you're not scrambling around trying to make connections when you're already desperate for something.
It's so true. It's like having this strong support system already in place. Who you can turn to for advice or to get different perspectives or even just for encouragement when you need it.
Right. And it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming network either. Ferrazzi actually talks a lot about the power of smaller groups and mentorship.
He does. And that was one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by that too. Why are those smaller interactions so much more impactful than, say, going to a huge networking event?
Well, think about it this way. When you're at a giant networking event with hundreds of people, it's hard to really connect with anyone on a deeper level.
Yeah, you're just kind of like exchanging pleasantries.
Exactly. But when you have coffee with someone one-on-one or you're part of a small group, you have the space to actually have those meaningful conversations and build those authentic relationships that Ferrazzi's always talking about.
That makes sense. And what about mentorship?
Mentorship's huge. Both giving and receiving mentorship can be so powerful for learning and growth and just navigating your career path.
Yeah, I've had some amazing mentors who really helped me along the way. And now I try to do the same for others. So, okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about how to approach networking with that generosity mindset, the importance of pinging
Yeah.
to stay connected, building your network before you need it, and the power of smaller groups and mentorships.
That's a lot to digest. So to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this question. What's one small action you can take this week that's inspired by Never Eat Alone? Maybe it's sending a quick ping to someone you admire, or maybe it's reaching out to a mentor, or even just making an effort to connect with someone new in your field.
I love that.
Yeah. Never Eat Alone gives you the tools, but you have the power to actually go out and build the network that's going to take you where you want to go.
Awesome advice. And hey, if you want to dive even deeper into Never Eat Alone or any of the other books we talk about,
Don't forget to check out the show notes.
We've got links to all the resources and extra goodies there. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.